Hello and welcome to another episode of All Elite Arcade. It is Monday morning, afternoon, night. It could be a different day, but when this drops, it's every single Monday on your podcast, as well as youtube.com/AEW Games. And today, on Mondays, for us, that means we discuss video games and the video games we've been playing all week long. Chugs, I know both of us have been playing a decent amount of stuff this week.
Yeah.
Surprisingly more than I thought I would, but we've had very different palettes for video games this week, it would seem.
We have. And Uno, I was going to say the same thing. Is I remember thinking like, oh, man, I don't know if I played as much this week as I would have liked. It's been a wild few weeks, but then I went and thought after we were talking a little bit before the podcast, and I'm like, oh, I played a good amount, and you did too. So
yes.
We did. We played a good amount of games this week.
I'm talking about the ones that I started. Mine are actually exactly the same games as last week, but rather than play like 10 different games, I played only 2. I will start off with Donkey Kong Bonanza, which I believe both of us have put some time into. I'm now at sub-level. I'm late into sub-level 500. I will give you no spoilers whatsoever as of yet. But what's very neat, I'm now... The first few levels, you get really comfortable with everything. You start exploring things. Destroying stuff is by far the most fun I have.
The greatest.
I think I spent at least 2 hours destroying most of a world for no other reason than it's so satisfying to like break apart the dirt and just find gold every single place you go to. But now they're starting to introduce more functions, more stats, because you have a whole skill tree, other transformations. These were transformations that were already teased at in the trailer. So
sure.
If you do not know, in Bananza you can get Super Saiyan Donkey Kong essentially, and he becomes a giant gorilla, and you are much stronger, better for battles. You could smash other stuff. Well, now I know there's going to be even more after this, but now I've unlocked the Zebra, which allows you to run across fine ice. I don't know how that works exactly. It has other functions as well. But it's very neat that as this progresses, I'm finding things more and more challenging. It is still just as rewarding to destroy every single piece of the world. I love also how it's kind of structured, where the world is one thing, you can destroy it. There's a bunch of little puzzles within that world, and most of it is about digging or about finding the path to eventually get to a banana or interact with a person, give him a bunch of gold that opens up things. But they also have these pads and these triangle doors that you can go into, and they're more like challenge levels, either combat challenges where you have to beat 7 enemies in a total of 30 seconds, or they spread out 3 bananas in these mini worlds that are like little puzzles slash puzzle platformer sections. And those include the 2D levels that we teased last week that look like Donkey Kong Country, but that has the same digging mechanics of it. So I've been really enjoying this. I think universally this game is loved by everyone that's playing it, myself included. I know Chugs has been having a blast with it as well as in the last few weeks as well. But I'm finding myself, there's actually more depth to this game than I would anticipate. And I also don't know where the end of it is, and I don't know if it'll do an Odyssey. And by now, some people already know this answer. You don't have to tell me. I'll discover it myself. But I wonder if it's like Odyssey when you finally get to the boss and the final portion of the game, if it tells you, yes, by the way, we also repopulated all your worlds with more stuff, and you get to revisit it. I would love if that's something, because I have this rule in my mind, and this is a lot of times why I never finish games, is that I won't go to the next level, or I won't go to the like final mission until I know I've completed everything in a map. And at this moment, I believe I've completed everything up to the point where I'm at, with the exception of a few little things before I jump into sublayer 600. But I feel like they don't give me a list of how many bananas are in each world, and I feel like that's telling that there's going to be more added to it. So I'm really expecting a lot more content in the future of my own playthrough. And I bet also, because this has been a success overall for Nintendo, for the team of Mario Odyssey as well, but it would seem that we'll probably get more Donkey Kong in the future as well. I think this has been a success. We'll probably get a second Bonanza as well. You on your end, what have you been thinking about Donkey Kong? You put a little bit of time into it this week.
Oh yeah, I'm absolutely loving it. Again, I haven't been able to put as much time or progress as far as you have, as far as sub level 500. I'm currently at sub level 300 still, and again, collecting bananas and stuff like that. But once again, the digging mechanic is just so much fun that I will spend so much time. I said this last week, and I can continue to say it, but it's just so incredible that Nintendo managed to make something so simple feel so intricate and so fun and so rewarding, and the sense of discovery. It's such a good time, such a good time. And I think I've mentioned this before too, but I love cosmetics. I love skins and different things that you can buy. So I love that Donkey Kong has different ties that he can get with certain passive bonuses, different pants. Pauline has the exact same thing where different outfits do different things. I just think that's really, really cool. So again, I agree with you in the sense of, I think without question, especially based on the success of this game, not just critically, but sales wise, they've got to have another Donkey Kong in the works at some point, whether it's Bonanza 2 or another Donkey Kong game in general, because I really do feel, and I know we'll get into this later, but the Switch 2 obviously is doing incredibly well as far as sales go. I think that this game helps even more, because I'm hearing more and more people talk about like, ooh, I haven't had the chance to pick up a Switch 2 yet, but I finally got it so I can play Donkey Kong Bonanza. It's really, really good. So I'm excited to finish this game at some point. Really, really enjoying it. I played a lot of other stuff, but yeah, Bonanza is absolutely a 10 out of 10 game.
Yeah, on the subject of the Switch being a success, currently with Donkey Kong coming out, I know this from friends who waited, because a lot of them will because I am like a first day buyer on almost all consoles. Almost everyone who is a friend of mine will be like, is it worth buying now? You would know, you would give me a straight opinion. And I told almost everyone, you could probably wait for the Switch 2 until Donkey Kong, unless you really want to play Mario Kart World. That's kind of the defining feature. If you want to play Mario Kart World, no problem. Go get the Switch 2. Otherwise, if you have a Switch 1, you'll be capable of playing plenty. You'll be fine. It's not that dramatic of a leap. Donkey Kong being out now, all of my friends are lining up to try and get consoles. And from my understanding, at least on the Canadian side, for most of my friends, consoles are rarely really difficult to get right now. Most of them have said it's like a 3-4 week wait on any order online, which if you pass it on or you compare it to the initial launch of the console, they had a lot of consoles ready to go because they knew the ask for the Switch 2 was going to be gigantic. There was so many news pieces about how are they going to meet up on the demand, and they actually met on the demand like crazy, because I was capable of buying one day of no problem. I know a lot of other people did as well. But now it would seem that that's caught up to them. It's selling so fast, and now it's got the even larger title, I think, with Donkey Kong, that it is almost, no, I wouldn't say impossible. It's definitely not impossible to find this, but it's very difficult to find a console right now. So if you're looking for it and you see one in wild, get it now, because who knows, especially if they announce Prime 4 anytime now. I think that'll be the next big puzzle piece to the Switch 2 launch, and that'll probably sell a bundle of Switch 2s as well.
Yeah, man, if we get Prime 4 this holiday season, my God, what a launch period.
Oh, yeah, seriously, what a great first year.
So awesome. Yeah, unbelievable first year. And then not including all the amazing third-party titles and obviously all the really awesome exclusives we have coming up. So, yeah, that would be incredible.
Yeah, and I'm sure they have more under their belt that we are unaware of. Plus, and I'm sure we'll mention it 4 or 5 times per episode, because we do. It could also have Silk Song on it, so
it sure could.
It sure could. It sure could. In fact, I hope it does. Other stuff I've been playing, my other game I've been playing is Death Stranding 2. I put a lot of time into it in the last 2 weeks, and this week was no different. I think I played upwards of 15 hours of Death Stranding 2. More of the same. I don't have a lot to say about the minute-to-minute gameplay. I love making roads. I don't know what it is. I love going from my base, taking all the materials, going to like a pavement maker, putting them in. When I don't have enough, then I love going to like a base of the, usually they have like villain bases that you can have like little fighting. You could essentially overtake a base, and usually they're full of materials. I take those, I rebuild roads. I've been doing that with zip lines. I've been doing that with the monorail system. really, I care so little about the story, and I care so much about just connecting each city by a road so that it's easier for me, that's what I've been specifically doing. But I do want to talk about the story a little bit, and I do want to say it'll be a little spoilery because maybe this is impactful to you. So there it is. Here's a big X.
I'm going to do a little X.
There you go. Little X.
Little spoilers.
Little spoilers. Yeah. I'm late into this game at this point. I think I'm 2 chapters away from the end. They're called episodes. Ooh. I'm at episode 14, and my understanding is 17 is the open world post game. So I'm about 2 from an ending. This game, I think I said this last week. I don't think it takes itself very seriously, and I find that endearing in a way. The subject matter is kind of pretty serious. You're connecting the world in like a post. I don't know if it's called post-Death Stranding, which essentially when you die out there, if a ghost connects with you, it will do a void out, which is essentially a nuclear explosion, and your soul will then be trapped as a ghost. And so people are staying in these underground bunkers because they don't want to walk around and potentially die, blah, 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 blah. So you as a porter, as the only person, the repatriate, which is what your doom's power is, that is the affliction that people have that gives them powers within this game. You're the repatriate, which means you can't die. Every time you die, you head to the beach being the underworld, essentially. It's like the reverse of the main world, and it's where like all the souls live. You go the repatriate, and you go there to the beach. You are there theoretically because you're dead, and you are capable of coming back to life, and that's why you are capable of being a porter and delivering things, because you can't die. Anyways, that's complicated on its own. The game will like suddenly shift in serious tone to like the main villain in this game is a throwback to a villain, I think, to the first one that is by Troy Baker called Higgs. And in this one, I guess Higgs died in the first one. I don't really remember. Once again, the story is so secondary to me when I play this game. He's now back, and he's got an electric guitar. What I'm saying that is that he literally will show up, will play tunes, he'll like sing songs and play the guitar, but his guitar is his weapon, and it shoots lightning bolts. So he goes and he shreds these big solos and like murders all kinds of people while shredding the guitar, which on its own is really cool, but also very, very odd.
Bizarre. Super
bizarre. And that's the thing I like about this game. It's a pro and a con, but constantly it's doing this weird, bizarre stuff. Your ship that you're on has all kinds of characters. You've got this girl who is capable of making it rain. You've got this girl who is connected to the beach in some sense. You've got Heartman, who's a guy who keeps having heart attacks, but they bring him back to life because he has a machine that brings him back to life. So he dies constantly and comes back because his heart gets reset. And there's just so much weird stuff. And then, okay, this is the part I wanted to talk about. This game has all this serious matter. This is the spoiler right here. I got to a part where you have connected most of Australia, and if you want to not hear the spoilers for late game, do not listen to this. Here it is. You find out that you're actually kind of working for the bad guys. You are working for this singularity between dead souls and human beings and like the chiral network, which is like essentially the internet, and they've all formed into like a singularity. You're working for this singularity, and its goal actually was for you to connect everything so that human beings are practically rendered useless, and so that they will slowly join the singularity, and the singularity could become bigger. Anyways, while this happens, you are in this like weird trance where this person that you thought was like the CEO of the company that you were working for is actually a bunch of little crabs together. This is also very weird. He's a bunch of little crabs together. He's not actually human. That's what the singularity is. It's all these beach creatures together. And while he's telling you this, out of nowhere, your AI from your ship, which is just a dummy, shows up, and then it performs a 4-minute Broadway's musical hit dances to it. They mocapped a whole dance number. It looks like a Backstreet Boys dance music video, and it sings at you, and then it reveals to you that, hey, I wasn't the AI. I'm actually Die Hard Man from the first game, and they don't call me Die Hard Man for nothing. I don't die easy. And that's like the big reveal of the game, which is so odd because
I love it.
I think this is where, look, Kojima, I can't say he's the greatest of all time. I don't think that's true at all. I will say this. He takes some weird, wild swings, and I appreciate him for it because no other person would put this in a game.
Well, Uno, very quickly, because what I do love about Kojima, aside from like the games that he's made and stuff, but when you look at a series, and I'm curious if it's like this with Death Stranding, but when you look at a series like Metal Gear Solid, like on the surface, it is such a real life, serious, very important scenario oftentimes that Kojima puts the player in and the game characters in, where I just had never seen anything like that. But then at the same time does super out there stuff to tell that story, which is always so fascinating to me. I love how he takes such serious topics and realistic problems and situations, but then makes it as out there as possible. It's so fascinating to watch.
Yeah, it's like the subject matter is super serious. Yes. It has real world implications, but then every character you interact with has a dumb name, like Heartman, Deadman, not Deadman, Die Hard Man, not Die Hard Man. These are all people, by the way. Tarman. They're Lumiere, not Lumiere. Sorry, Fragile, Tomorrow, Rainy. I mean, they all have stupid ass names, but and they're all the most cartoonish characters in the world. But I find it so endearing that it mixes both. If it had been one tone, if it had been serious the whole time, I would have skipped through this entire story, because I do skip a lot of it just because in the end, a lot of the conversations are trying to contextualize why the hell you would walk from one region to another region. And at the end, all it means is please just connect the network, right? Like that's really most of the story is that. But every time they go to a cutscene, I don't skip that because I know for sure something weird and wild is going to happen, and it is very rewarding. I can't say it's great storytelling. I really don't know, but I will tell you this: every time there's a cutscene, you have my attention for the 6 minutes it plays. It's always so weird. It's always really well animated too. Visually, it's a stunning game. But anyways, just to say, Death Stranding 2, still weird. It's got its hooks in me. I want to keep playing. Like, I'm thinking about building roads right now. That's how bad it is for me. And I have Donkey Kong beside me. You would think that would be my main, my main hook right now. But Death Stranding's just got it in deep. But that's it. That's it for my two games. Chugs, what about you? You've been playing a whole lot of stuff.
I have, yeah. And I know earlier in the episode, I did talk about Donkey Kong Bonanza. So once again, I did put a little bit more time into that, but I don't really have anything more to say there. But yeah, quite a few games this week. Not actually any new games, but a lot of progress with all those games. For example, I bring up every single week Pokemon Trading Card Game Pocket. Well, I do have a big announcement, Uno, is I officially, not the star cards or the shinies or the golds or anything like that, but I officially, with every single pack, have completed the diamond set. So like every standard card of like 226 out of 226, 68 out of 68, 155 out of 155. I've completed those packs. So I was so stoked about that to finally get all those cards. So I'm still opening packs, obviously, to try to get more of those star cards or double star, triple star, shiny, double shiny, gold cards. I still have a lot to collect, and my goodness, I don't know how I'm ever going to get my hands on some of the earlier promo cards before I was into battling and stuff like that, because it kills me. I want to be able to collect those as well, but the collection is complete in that sense. Once again, the battles are still really fun. I've done a bunch of the challenges where I've gotten a bunch of the theme deck lists as well. Just collected a bunch of stuff. Again, Pokemon Trading Card Game Pocket. probably the most fun I've ever had with a card game, and definitely the most fun I think I've ever had with a mobile game. I love it so much. And speaking of other games, also I know I've mentioned Road Rash before. I'm going on like a little retro journey where I'm going back and playing a bunch of these older games that I loved as a kid or just wanted to get that nostalgic feeling back. So finally, with Road Rash, Uno, I have been on level 4 for what feels like a year. I finally made it to level 5. I finally made it to level 5. All I had to do was get first through third in these 5 races at level 4. So finally making it to level 5. I have 5 more races that I have to do. I have to get either first through third once again. And I just played a little bit of it. Oh my God, I have no idea how I'm going to do this without save states. I think it's going to be so unbelievably challenging. The cars are so much faster. The enemies are so much faster, so much more aggressive. Just such a challenging, but really, really fun game. So hopefully here this year, I'll be able to say that I've officially beaten Road Rash on the Sega Genesis for the first time, but we'll see. And in addition to that, also, once again, I was able to hop back on stream this week one time. I'm really, really hoping that the rest of this week I'm going to be able to hop on stream and play this even more because, again, I'm continuing the Lies of P Overture DLC. And but again, it's more of the same. The combat is great. The level design is great, but the thing I'm really, really into right now is the story. They've done such an unbelievable job at taking a bunch of these story points in the base game and connecting the dots in a lot of ways. Again, the legendary stalker, Leia, is a very fascinating character, but a character that I just met is a character called the Tracker. And in the base game of Lies of P, you meet a character called Alejandro, and you think it's really him, but then you find out later on it was actually his partner who betrayed him, took his mask, and you're not meeting the real hero that is Alejandro. So now meeting the Tracker, that is the original character. So getting to meet him, interact with him, talk to him, and see how awesome he is so cool. I went and did this fight against the Two-Faced Overseer, this amazing boss fight where you have to blow a horn and the Tracker comes in to help you, which is a really, really cool boss fight. And in addition to that, because he is a Tracker, you will find different things that you can decode or cipher. And then the Tracker will give you a hint or show you a picture and be like, ooh, there's some sort of item available here. And then you have to backtrack into these previous areas that you've been, find the location, interact with it, something will happen, and you get some sort of item, which is really, really cool. So again, the Lies of P Overture DLC, I'm having such a great time with. What a blast of a game. I can't wait to see what else unfolds. I feel like I've got to be kind of close to the end, but we'll see. I put a bunch of time into it. And in addition to that, oh yes, of course. So I have been saying before that Expedition 33 is a game that I just absolutely am loving and enjoying. So I'm at a point now where, again, I think I have decided, I'm not 100% sure because I really want to get back to my 5-game cycle on Twitch and finish some of those games. But again, right now I'm working on Lies of P Overture, and I'm really, really considering, after finishing the Lies of P DLC, jumping into a fresh playthrough of Expedition 33 because the little bit that I've played, it just feels like it's going to be my game of the year. It feels like it's going to be a game that is going to be such an incredible experience. Once again, the little bit that I have played, I've really enjoyed it. So right now what I'm doing, because I don't want to advance too far, is I will go on, or I will play Expedition 33, and as I'm playing it, I will only go around and kind of like grind a little bit and do the battles because I don't want to advance the story at all. Because again, I think I am just going to wait until I'm able to stream it. But yeah, Expedition 33, once again, amazing. But Uno, the big one that I want to talk to you about.
Ooh, tell me more.
The big one is I finished Doki Doki Literature Club.
Yes, we've been talking about this for 3 weeks now.
Yes. And again, I feel so fortunate that I was not spoiled on this game. So the last thing I'm going to do is spoil the story, because I feel like this was so much more impactful because I didn't know what was going to happen or where everything was going to go. And also a warning too is Doki Doki Literature Club, and it has it in the game as well, but it does cover some pretty intense and some pretty heavy topics. So that's a warning for everybody, for anyone who's interested in checking it out.
Yes, you should definitely there. If you're going into this with any type of, how do I say this without getting Definitely. Okay.
Yeah.
Right off the bat, it will open with a notice. With
Multiple.
a notice, multiple notices. If any of those bother you, you definitely shouldn't play that game because it can get weird and rough.
Yes, gets really, really heavy. But again, the roller coaster ride that I went on when playing that game was so unbelievable. I've never played a game like that before, and the story was so engrossing and so interesting, and they did so many things to make that game stand out and feel really, really special and be incredibly memorable. That's both stuff in the game and also stuff outside of the game. It's just an unbelievable story. I mean, there's a part of me that wants to go back and maybe play again and make some different decisions to see what else would happen. But holy cow, if you're looking for a memorable story and a game that most likely you have never played anything like it before, Uno, I'm so glad you suggested Doki Doki Literature Club because I'll never forget it. What a wild game.
It's out there.
Yeah.
And also fairly short. Like if a lot of times you could suggest an experience and like to get to it, it takes 30 hours. Within 10 hours, you could see the entirety of this game. And it is impactful. It will stick with you for sure.
Right. So yeah, awesome game recommendation. I loved it. Again, it was such a memorable experience. So it was something else.
Well, if you guys have not played it, do let us know if you do play it. I will next week. I just downloaded it. We had a conversation beforehand, but I will play Halo Reach. I don't know if I'll get all the way through, but I will at least start the first or the story mode. Not the multiplayer stuff. I'm not engaging with that, but I will the story content. The campaign. There you go. I was trying to look for the term that we always use. There it is. That's it for video games we played this week. If you've been playing anything that you would like to talk to us about, go to youtube.com/AEW Games. Go in the comment section. Let us know down below. We actually have a bunch of news to discuss, and we will discuss it right after this. Hello, and we're back. It is time to talk the news of the week. We are in late July. I can't believe we're almost through the summer months.
Can't believe it.
And it starts, we've got a bunch of news, and it starts with some Pokemon stuff because a Pokemon Presents was dropped this week. That is the showcase for Pokemon stuff in general. Game Freak released all kinds of information, starting with, did you know that the Pokemon World Championships are coming around this year, August 15th to 17th in Anaheim, California? There will be battles across Pokemon Violet Scarlet, trading card game, Pokemon Go, and Pokemon Unite. All of that is happening in August. I don't know if you can actually watch that stuff online or if you can only be there in person. I will have to inquire, but very interesting indeed.
That'd be really cool if they had it online. I would definitely want to check that out.
Especially because that's a battle system I truly understand. Like, I can't watch Dota. I can't watch any of that stuff because I don't understand what I'm looking at. Whereas Pokemon, I 100% know what's going on at all times. A lot of the news here was actually movie and TV related. Pokemon Concierge, that is the Netflix TV show. It's a gorgeously animated TV spinoff of the main series. A new episode, or new episodes plus, will be coming out in September. That is one of the announcements they said. They also announced that the Wallace and Gromit animation studio will be making their own Pokemon show that looks like Wallace and Gromit. If you do not know what that is, they use plastine to make stop motion movies. Very dry humor to them. Well, it looks like they will have their own Pokemon show called Pokemon Tales: The Misadventures of Sirfetch'd and Pichu, which will come out in 2027, which honestly, I think that's a good pairing. That's a good visual aesthetic, and the humor should definitely lend itself to Pokemon. Also on the Pokemon docket, in 2026, they're releasing their first full-time Pokemon attraction, aka a theme park attraction, in Japan's Yomiuri-land. I totally butchered that. They will be making Sedge Town and Pokemon Forest in there, all part of Poke Park Kanto. In the forest, you'll see a bunch of Pokemons you can interact with, while in the town, you can interact with Pokemon and trainers. I do not know how exactly that will be contextualized in the real world thing, but that comes out in 2026, including tickets will be going on sale late this year.
Can I just say how much I love that there's more and more video game like theme parks?
Oh, it's
and
everywhere
attractions.
now. Yes.
Like it's everywhere, and I love it. Keep them coming.
Yes.
This sounds so sweet.
I've yet to go to the Nintendo World stuff in Orlando, California, and I really want to.
Really bad.
Maybe going to make a point to do that late this year.
Yeah.
Pokemon Go has a max finale that is essentially a one-time event that is coming out on August 23rd and 24th. You'll have a bunch of max Pokemons will be showing up. That is essentially I believe the ultimate in Pokemon Go evolutions. So essentially you will see a bunch of there's opportunities for players to encounter Eternatus, which is the first time encounter as well. That comes out on August 23rd and 24th. The big one that I wanted to mention is that Pokemon trading card game made an announcement on September 26th. This, by the way, this was the shortest announcement. They just dropped this and said it. But on September 26th, Mega Evolutions come to the Pokemon trading card game, which, you know, if you're an individual on this podcast who just so happened to finish all the decks, you might be screwed.
I might be so screwed.
They might have just unlocked another level of stuff that you need to unlock. That comes out in September. That game is just never ending in a good way. I can't believe they're still dropping stuff so steadily.
Yeah.
They dropped a new game called Pokemon Friends. That's a Pokemon-themed mini-game puzzler featuring sliding blocks, rotating tracks, a bunch of like puzzle. It's an amalgamation of puzzles. It is now available and dropped the same day as the Presents was, and that's on Switch, iOS, and Android. And finally, they put some news into Pokemon ZA. That is the next launch title that is coming up. That is will be running on Switch 2. They showed a look at Lumiose City. That is where the main story is going to be situated, as well as showing some of the ZA Royale battles, which I believe is a team-based battle system rather than, you know, one-on-ones where you switch the teams out. And they showed character customization and customizable Furfrus, which I believe is your main Pokemon in this game, as well as the Pokemon mode. That game comes out October 16th, which I forgot when talking about Switch 2 releases. There's another big Switch 2 release, and that is up in 2 months.
So soon.
3 months. Crazy to think. So yeah, they've got at least 3 heavy hitters this year, and if Prime gets announced as well, that's going to be a big one. Lots of stuff for Pokemon. Pokemon came in swinging with a lot of news this week.
It's great. Yeah, there's a lot to be excited about. There really, really is. Between Pokemon trading card game Pocket being so huge, and like you said, they keep adding on to it. The next Pokemon title coming out on Switch 2 is going to be huge. Mm-hmm. Very exciting stuff. Exciting stuff.
And they're hitting it from all fronts: mobile, video games, movies, TV series. They are just doing incredible.
Arcs. Yeah.
Yes, as well. All right. Next up, more TV news. This one is Amazon's Mass Effect TV. They are making a Mass Effect TV show. Has just hired the successful team behind Fallout. So the production team of Fallout will be working on Mass Effect, which I've not seen Fallout, but from everyone that's ever told me they've watched it, they say that and Last of Us 2 are currently the 2 shows that people say are the best video game TV shows to ever be produced. Yep. So this is great news. Great news for Mass Effect, because Mass Effect is a pretty complex story with a lot of characters and a lot of lore, and I would love for it to be properly explored. So this is great news.
Yeah, that is the perfect team to do that, because like you said, the Mass Effect franchise is so loved, and the story specifically is so loved. So for the same team that worked on the Fallout show, again, I really do think that Fallout show is my favorite video game adaptation TV show ever. I loved it so much. So perfect people to have for the Mass Effect show. That's great.
And from everything I understand is that they definitely lean on the video game's lore, and whatever fan service you want from it, they seem to at least are inclined to give you what you want rather than to mix up what the story is. So I'm very excited to see what they do with Mass Effect for sure.
Me too. And I've said this before too. I think the strongest technique that they end up using seriously is like, I watched the entire Fallout show with my mother, who has never played a Fallout game. She watched it, loved every second of it, and was so easy to follow along, while at the same time they're sprinkling in these callbacks or these references to people who have played the game before to get them all excited, but they do it in such a natural and not out of nowhere way. They have such a good formula. They really do.
Good. And I hope they do the same for Mass Effect, because I feel like that's an even meatier game to get through.
Yes.
As far as story, especially because it's spread out. I mean, it depends what they want to tackle. I guess Mass Effect 2 would probably be the simplest one to try and tackle, because you need that to know 3 and 4. We'll see. We'll see. I'm very excited to watch it in the future. I still got to watch Fallout, though. So to be determined. I have 3 little pieces of news. I'll start with the shortest ones, and then I have one that it will open up to discussions for sure. More recently, Xbox was known for hiking up their prices of their games to $80. Well, Microsoft has confirmed they're actually doing a U-turn, starting with Outer Worlds 2 and going back to the original pricing of $70. Kind of surprising, but then also simultaneously, there's been a lot of bad press with Xbox and Microsoft in the last 3 months. Microsoft laying off so many people, the height of the price, the rumored price of a ROG Ally is $1,000. So there's really it's been news piece after news piece for Microsoft where they've taken a fall, or they've definitely taken the brunt of the hit. This is their first turnaround, maybe a little bit. Very curious if that switches again, because while they might be switching back to 70, every other game hasn't. I think it's only likely that Xbox will return to an $80 price point in the future.
Yeah.
And then another quick piece. This one's for you, my friend. FromSoftware. We know next year, Duskbloods on the Switch is supposed to come out in 2026. No exact date, if I remember correctly. Well, you might be happy to know that's actually not the only game FromSoftware is working on, because a newly unannounced game has been rumored, and it is rumored to come out in 2026. Do you think we're getting it?
Bloodborne 2.
That's right.
Bloodborne 2.
Right.
Bloodborne
Please.
2. Come on, it's gotta be.
Please.
It's gotta be.
You can't. Okay, look. We've done enough Elden Ring. We can move on now. We can move on.
Right. And we love Elden Ring. We absolutely love Elden Ring. Elden Ring Night Rain also great. But the people want it. The people want it so bad. And Duskbloods, again, we had mentioned this before. It feels like a successor almost to Bloodborne. Immediately, everyone thought it was something with Bloodborne. So maybe they're going to give it to us. Maybe we're going to get Bloodborne 2 or Sekiro 2. I'd be stoked with either one of those.
Or if they do a brand new IP as well, I'd be happy with that as well.
Yes.
But I feel like Dark Souls and Elden Ring can take the back shelf for a little bit. I actually, on the subject of Duskbloods, I can't imagine Sony sees the reveal of Duskbloods and doesn't go, nah, no way, there's no chance. We're gonna do Bloodborne. They were probably on the phone instantly as soon as the rumors were out. So yes, let's hope it's Bloodborne 2. But whatever FromSoftware works on, always incredible. Very excited
every time
in the future. All right, here's our big subject that I want to tackle, because this one's a weird one. itch.io, that is the independent gaming platform where essentially any developer can upload a game. It's not a Steam, because it is not a program that supplies, so it's not a DRM for it's more like GOG, which is a website where you can get all kinds of independent projects. Well, it's actually going through some weird times right now, because it's gone and hid all not-for-safe works in the game library, because payment providers are pressuring websites to no longer allow their payments for pornography games. So, first of all, this is about pornography games, but I think it's a much larger subject that we need to talk about, because while I am not a person who purchases and plays pornography games, I don't think there's anything wrong with doing that. I am a person that doesn't want my credit card to have any say on what I purchase my money with, or for rather. So this is actually not the first time this has happened. They've actually put a lot of pressure on Steam as well, just recently, where I believe this is MasterCard, but a payment process, or rather, payment providers have been pressuring these stores to not sell porno games, so that MasterCard and Visa and so on and so forth don't have that. I don't even understand what their stance on this is, because the weird part of it is if you ban that, you are essentially losing on a bunch of revenue on the MasterCard side, and you're also losing on a bunch of revenue on the storefront sides. But because of the pressure, alternately, if they said we're not pushing our website, or we're not hiding all of our not safe for work stuff, they would just revoke the payment provider, and then suddenly no one, HIO is not making money at all. It is a very, very odd place and subject at this moment, because we're seeing a lot of pornography censorship throughout North America and so on and so forth. And now we're seeing it at a payment plan side of things, which is wild to think that a credit card company has the say on what you are capable of using your money on.
Exactly. Yeah. I completely agree with you on that stance. Is again, neither of us play them, but it is kind of bizarre to imagine a credit card company dictating what you can and can't purchase with that credit card. So I'm so curious to dig a little bit deeper into this and see what that is. See if it's just what it looks like on the surface, or like you said, it might be something even more. But yeah, it's weird, the idea of people saying what you can and can't get.
Mm-hmm. So yeah, essentially they're giving policies are coming from these payment providers to these third-party sellers, and essentially they're saying that for a not safe for work game to be approved and sold, it must go through the payment provider's list of policies. So essentially has to meet all these policies for it to be capable of purchasing through that provider, which is very, very weird, because if this happens here, it's going to happen on other levels too. Eventually you won't be able to purchase movies because, right now it's very simple to say, hey, your game, and this, I'm going to say some wild topics here. So please, this is not my personal opinions, but it's very easy to say, hey, games can't have necrophilia in it. You're like, okay, yeah, of course, that makes sense. But also simultaneously, it's an art form, and as long as it's not real, you should be capable of purchasing it. But then what stops them 10 years from now from saying, hey, you can't have pride flags in your game. You can't have trans visibility in your games. You can't have disparaging comments about religion in your game. That eventually, all because a payment provider has that power.
Yep.
I don't know how we get out from under this, but it is definitely a subject that I feel we're going to be addressing over the next few years, because if this is just happening now, this is the tip of the iceberg. It's only going to get worse from here.
Absolutely. Yeah. So it'll be really, really interesting to see where this goes. I think you're 100% right, Uno, and then we're going to probably be talking about this for quite some time as everything continues to unfold. But yeah, very, very interesting.
Yes.
Very interesting.
Very odd. Let us know what you think about this. Obviously, this is a subject I could see both sides of things for sure.
Yeah.
Do take into account our arguments, but we will take into account yours. Go to youtube.com/AEW Games. Let us know in the comments. Let's have a little discussion about this. I am, for one, saying it's wrong. It should not. I think this should not happen. But you, if you think otherwise or you think the same, let us know at youtube.com/AEW Games in the comments. That is it for our news for this week. But it is not it for the podcast, because our favorite segment of the show, the Arcade Mailbag, comes to you right after this. Hello, we're back. It's time for the Arcade Mailbag, our favorite segment of the show, brought to you by our friends at UpperDeck.com. Collect your favorite wrestlers in 2025's Upper Deck AEW packs and start your trading card collection today. Unwrap autographs, memorabilia, or premium tech inserts. I pre-opened this pack so that we would hear.
Nice.
There is the cover of the 2025 AEW pack. Do get those right now. And here is what we got in this pack, starting with MJF.
Oh, there we
We've
go.
got the more recent iteration of the Elite. We've got Matthew, Nicholas, and Okada in one card. Here's Thunder
Nice.
Rosa, ready for a street fight. The Switchblade Jay White. Timeless Tony Storm, our champion. Here's a neon Adam Copeland card. Never seen these neon moniker cards. These are brand new.
Very cool.
Very cool. We've got the Learning Tree, Chris Jericho, BK, and the big man himself, Big Bill. Will Hobbs.
Nice.
The Bang Bang Gang of Juice Robinson and Switchblade Jay White. Papa Magi, that's right, Matt Menard, Daddy Magic. There he is with his Quebec shirt.
Yes.
John Moxley wearing his white shirt, loves a plain white tee. And Arkady is our last card,
Nice.
our great announcer for Collision. Get your packs at upperdeck.com. Thank you to Upper Deck, as always, for supporting us here and sponsoring this segment. We actually have 3 questions, as always. If you want your questions answered, go to tbs.com/arcade mailbag and send them in, and myself and Chugs will get right to it. This first question is by Trevor. Hey, Chugs and Uno, what do you think the industry would look like today if Sega had won the console war instead of Nintendo? Ooh. If the Genesis, Game Gear, Saturn, and Dreamcast had taken over, how different do you think things would be now? That is a remarkable subject because I think Nintendo has been king of video games for so long. You know, they now have the fastest selling console of all time, which I want to discuss, which Stu, officially the fastest selling console of all time. Mario, probably the video game character that most people know. But if Sega were to win, I'm going to do an easy one. I think we would still have Sega consoles at this point. I think Dreamcast would not have been the last bit. They would at least be 3 more cycles since that, because that was in the 2000s, I believe. And so since then, you know, you would have had PS2, PS3, PS4, PS5 come out. So I'm thinking at least 3 more Sega consoles. And I think they would be back in the handheld game since Game Gear, they were so prominently a part of it, you know, rivaling Game Boy at the time. I feel like they would have their own console of sorts on that side too. What about you? What do you think would happen?
Yeah, so first of all, it's so interesting that you brought up PlayStation because I want to go back even further. We might not have the PlayStation if that was the case.
That is true.
Because I think back to when Sony was maybe going to work with Nintendo, and then Nintendo decided last minute, no, we're going to go with Philips instead, and that really upset Sony. So they said, screw it, we're going to make a console of our own. Either that opportunity would have never presented itself, or maybe Sony and Nintendo worked together, and they were like a group making consoles. So that's also a possibility. It's so wild how if Nintendo didn't dominate, how much things would change. Obviously, you brought up Mario as well, who at one point, I think he still may be, Mario is more recognizable than Mickey Mouse, which is just so unbelievable. But I think Sonic the Hedgehog would be in that role instead of Mario, so which is also really tough to imagine. So I'm so glad things happened the way that they did with everything that we've gotten. The one thing I do really miss, though, I will say this, I loved Sega consoles. I grew up with the Sega Genesis. There were so many incredible titles. Man, you know how excited I would be if Sega decided to make a console again? I'd be so pumped. Sega rules. I love it.
So good. I've been thinking when they were making those mini consoles, I was hoping did they ever make a Dreamcast mini?
They did not.
Oh
they
my
did
God.
not. They made 2 versions of the Genesis Mini.
Oh my God.
Yeah.
I was hoping they make that Dreamcast Mini because that is one of my favorite consoles of all time. I think if it hadn't come out, one, it was forward thinking. It had email, it had DLC, it had the internet, it had a peripheral. They had that Neo Geo freaking memory card that was its own peripheral as well. So forward thinking for a console of its time. And if it wasn't for the fact that there's CD drive, you could just burn games and essentially rob them of sales, I think they would still be they probably would at least have had one more cycle of consoles, if not more, right? But that one ended up killing Sega almost entirely. And now they're just a publisher. The fact that you can play a Sega game on a Nintendo platform is wild. If you went back and you told 11-year-old me that, I wouldn't believe you at all. I wouldn't believe you at all.
Right.
So I genuinely think I don't know if we're in the best of the futures, but it would be so incredible to know what a current gen Sega console would be like. I'd be so curious what would be on it. And I also think we would have a proper Shenmue rather than that crap we got a few years ago. Yeah, I don't know what. Probably Yakuza would be an even bigger deal since that's a Sega property nowadays.
Yeah, you're
great
right.
question, Trevor. Honestly, a great topic to try and think through.
Oh, yeah.
Our next question is from Clayton. Clayton says, "Hey guys, until DK Bonanza, Tropical Freeze and DK1 for the Super Nintendo were my favorite Donkey Kong games. Where does Bonanza rank for you in your overall franchise, and which Donkey Kong game do you think will be looked back on as the greatest of all time a decade from now?" Ooh.
Oh, man. Such a good question. So, again, Donkey Kong Bonanza, I'm not even close to being finished with it, but the amount of fun I'm having with it, I could pretty much guarantee that it's going to go down. It'll at least be in my top 3 as far as the greatest Donkey Kong games of all time, in my opinion. But the one that seriously is so near and dear to me and my heart, and I know everyone won't agree with this, but seriously, the first Donkey Kong Country to me will go down to me as the greatest Donkey Kong game ever. It was my first experience with Donkey Kong. I'd never seen graphics like that before. The songs are still songs that I listen to today. Like, the soundtrack is just so incredible in the original Donkey Kong Country. So again, that kind of started it all. So in my opinion, I think the original Donkey Kong Country will go down as the greatest of all time. And I think DK Bonanza absolutely is within the top 3, maybe even top 2 greatest Donkey Kong games ever made. It's so good. So good.
Yeah, on my side, I don't want to make a bold prediction about where I will put Bonanza quite yet because I'm in the middle of it. I will say it's incredible, at least on par with Odyssey from what I've been playing. Super unique. Yeah. But realistically, I think 10 years from now, I will still claim the best Donkey Kong game is Donkey Kong Country 2. That is the one that I think is the best of those 3 Donkey Kong Country games. And I also think that is the best Donkey Kong game ever created. By the end of this game, maybe I changed my mind, but I feel like a decade from now, if you told me which game do I want to play, I'll probably always revisit those first 2 Donkey Kong game or Donkey Kong Country games because to me, they're nostalgic, but then also simultaneously, the soundtrack is incredible, and those games age incredibly well. Like,
yes,
we're 25 plus years from their launch, and they are still stunning. They still feel modern. They didn't age like a lot of 3D graphics stuff did because it's on 2D platform. Whereas Bonanza, maybe in 10 years, will look cartoony in a sense. Although I will say it's probably better that way than if it was like a realistic depiction of a monkey for sure. But yes, I think we're both on the same side here. Yeah. I think DK1, DK2 will always be the ones that people talk about as Donkey Kong forever, unless they make DK Country 4. Which they still could.
Oh, they still could.
You should do this. Thank you, Clayton. Yes. Great question. I appreciate you so much. Next one is by North Star, our final question of the day. We're deep enough into 2025 now that I think it's fair to ask, what's your current personal game of the year so far? And what would you need for it to drop between now and December to knock it off the throne? Super simple answers for me.
Okay.
All right. My game of the year right now is Blueprints. And I want to say that every game that is currently on my game of the year list is not a game other than DK Bonanza I even thought would make a list because it was stuff that I didn't know about or was never excited about. But at the top of my list is Blueprints. I'm a puzzle guy. That is one of the best puzzle games I've ever played, if not the best puzzle game I've ever played. I think it's going to be very, very hard to dethrone it. But I think of one game, and I think I will let Chugs say it before, but there's one game that could definitely do it. What about you, Chugs? What's at the top of yours?
Sure. So my current game of the year, interestingly enough, if I had to pick, is Expedition 33, which is kind of wild to say because I'm so early within this game, but I've said it before. The impact that I felt playing that prologue was unlike something I had felt in a really long time from a video game. It moved me so much. It was so well shot. The voice acting, the visuals, the music in Expedition 33, my God. And again, the combat is really, really fun as well. Even the little bit that I played, I'm just giddy about this game because I'm imagining like where the story could go. Like this, my sense of wonder is at an all-time high when I play Expedition 33. And at the end of the day, that's what it's all about for me when it comes to video games. So far, Expedition 33 is my game of the year, and I haven't even gotten close to finishing it. So we'll see as it goes on how much I continue to enjoy it. But so far, that's the one. And the only thing that could possibly knock that off is very easy for me. And, and that answer is Silk Song. If Silk Song, when Silk Song comes out this year, that's going to be my game of the year.
It's happening. It's happening.
It is
bold prediction, late September. I'm saying late September.
Ooh, I like it. I like that guess.
Yeah. I have no inclination as to why. I'm just saying, in my heart of hearts, I think Silk Song comes out in September, right before the ROG Ally comes out. But I could be wrong. Just give us the game. That's what I'm getting at.
Please.
You're
right, though. That is the perfect guess, like right before the Xbox Ally comes out. That would be
exactly.
Perfect.
And I also it has to drop before the I think fall going into the winter times, into the holiday season where most games sell. You drop it beforehand, it makes that initial sale, and then around the holidays it makes a secondary sale. Then in the new year you can maybe begin to drop it down by a price, so on and so forth. I don't know if any of that is true. I'm just wishfully thinking that Silk Song will come out this year and dethrone Blueprints as my game of the year. But if not, both of us have some incredible titles, both Expedition 33 and Blueprints. And honestly, you can make a claim at least 6 other games right now, and I'd be
Easy.
like, yeah, this year's been an incredibly strong year for Game of the Year and for games in general. Can't wait to see that end of the year list for everyone.
And on top of that, Uno, as well, because it's not a base game, but I don't want to include DLC. But again, Lies of P Overture, that DLC, one of the best gaming experiences I've had this year as well. So in addition to all these new games, any sort of DLC that we're getting, it's been such a good year.
It's been incredible. And we still have Ghost of Yote. We probably have a ton of stuff we don't even know about that's going to come out.
Right.
Just like we forgot about Pokemon. I think there's a bunch of opportunities for a game to sweep our awards. And it might even be a game we've never even heard of because people have just been dropping bangers all year long. Very, very excited for the rest of the year.
Look at our two choices. Look at our two choices for Game of the Year, Expedition 33 and Blueprints.
Yes, exactly.
Two games we knew nothing about going into it.
So dramatically different, too. It's been great. And I would list the rest of the games on my list, but I think that's best suited for the end of the year. So do stick around. We will be doing a Game of the Year discussion at the end of the year because this is one of the best years of video games in quite some time. And then truthfully, it's some of my favorite podcasting is when we get to discuss all the best games that we have played this year. Thank you so much for the question, North Star, and thank you to everyone that has sent their questions in. If you want your question answered, go to tbs.com/arcade mailbag. That is it for our podcast today. If you would like to find me, I'm at twitch.tv/eviluno. Chugs, where can they find you this week?
You can find me at twitch.tv/thechugs.
We appreciate you all for all of your support. Be there next Monday on our podcasting, wherever you listen to your podcasts, as well as youtube.com/AEW Games if you want to watch the video format of our feed. That is also the best way to send a comment to us. Get in the comments down below. I typically read them every single week. That is your best way of communication to us directly. We appreciate you all. We couldn't do this with any of you, and we will see you next Monday for another episode of All Elite Arcade. Bye-bye.